Hello everyone! Welcome back to Top Secret Travel Tip, and today we'll embark on a captivating journey to one of the most enchanting destinations on Earth, Bali, known as the Island of the Gods. There's plenty to explore and experience in Bali. However, there are also numerous activities you should steer clear of. In this video, we'll be highlighting 14 things to avoid while visiting Bali. But before jumping off to our video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click on the notification bell for you to be updated on our latest videos. Number 1. Don't assume Bali is a small island. Bali is not as small as Phuket, Santorini, or Singapore. However, Bali is much larger than those places. In fact, it is 8 times bigger than Singapore, 10 times bigger than Phuket, 64 times bigger than Santorini, and over 500 times bigger than Boracay. It's important to keep this in mind when planning your itinerary. Don't schedule activities back-to-back if they are in different parts of the island. Traveling from Kuta to Ubud, for example, takes a couple of hours, not just a few minutes. And if you're visiting temples like Lempuyang or Ulundanu, it will take even longer. Depending on your itinerary and the purpose of your visit to Bali, it's crucial to choose the most suitable area to stay in so that you don't waste too much time on the road. Number 2, don't underestimate the traffic. Bali attracts millions of visitors every year, with nearly 4.4 million foreign tourists arriving from January to October 2023 alone. Many of these tourists choose to stay in popular areas like Kuta and Seminyak and rely on private transportation options like car tours, Grab, or Gojek instead of public transportation, which is not always reliable. As a result, traffic congestion is a common occurrence in these areas. If you have a tour, show, or flight to catch, it's advisable to allow plenty of time to account for potential traffic delays. Number 3, don't dismiss local cuisine. The island boasts a vibrant international food scene. Bali's culinary offerings are nothing short of spectacular. From the mouth-watering babi guling, spit roasted pork, to the ubiquitous satay and nasi campur, as well as traditional cakes, local dishes can be found everywhere. You can enjoy them at high-end restaurants or humble warungs, which are small family-run eateries. Most of these establishments serve hearty and comforting meals. However, if you want an insider's perspective, it's best to book a guided food tour. By joining a food tour, you can discover local favorites, sample various dishes, and learn more about Bali's food culture. The food tour seems like a wonderful way to explore and experience the local culture. Babi guling, coffee luwak, bitutu, and the assortment of desserts at Gianyar Night Market sound absolutely delicious. Number 4, don't trust street ATMs easily. When I mention street ATMs, I am referring to those cash machines that are located openly on the streets and are susceptible to tampering. If you find yourself in need of withdrawing cash, it is advisable to choose an ATM that is situated inside a bank or other secure establishments. Banks are generally the safest option, and you'll come across many reputable banks across the island. However, if you must use street ATM, always exercise caution and thoroughly check for any signs of tampering. When in doubt, it's best to avoid using it and explore alternative payment methods or seek out another ATM. Now, speaking of cash, number 5, don't overpay by mistake. In Bali, the official currency is the Indonesian rupiah, and approximately $100 is equivalent to 1.5 million rupiah. The highest denomination of the rupiah is 100,000, which is represented by the color red. The 50,000 note is blue, the 20,000 note is green, and so on. However, for those who are not accustomed to dealing with large numbers, it can be a bit confusing since there are no thousand separators such as periods, commas, or spaces within the numbers. This lack of separators can make it easy to mistake 10,000 for 100,000. Therefore, I suggest that you do pre-booking like I did to avoid mistakes. Number 6, don't hold your phone up in the streets. Bali is generally a safe destination with a relatively low crime rate, considering its popularity among tourists. However, like many other tourist spots, petty crimes can occur, particularly in developed areas like Kuta. It's important to be cautious and avoid holding your phone, purse, or wallet out in the open while walking or standing by the road. There have been instances of snatch and grab thefts by individuals on motorbikes. It's best to keep your belongings away from the reach of others and not leave them unattended, especially on the beach. Additionally, it's not advisable to use your belongings, such as your phone, to reserve a table at a food court, as this may attract unwanted attention. By taking these precautions, you can help ensure a safer and more enjoyable experience in Bali. Number 7. Don't fall for taxi and motorbike scams. Taxis in Bali are notorious for overpricing, and it is widely advised by locals to avoid hailing a cab. Instead, using ride-hailing services like Grab or Gojek is recommended. If you must take a taxi, it is best to choose Bluebird, which is considered the only reputable taxi company on the island. Another option, especially when arriving at the airport, is to pre-arrange a pickup service online. When it comes to traveling by motorbike, it's important to be cautious of scams. I have been warned about rental shops that may charge you for pre-existing damages on the bike. There are also reports of police scams, where officers may stop motorbike drivers for various reasons and demand payment to let them go. If you decide to rent a motorbike, make sure you have the proper driving license and always wear a helmet for your safety. Remember, being aware of these potential scams and taking necessary precautions can help ensure a smoother and more secure experience while exploring Bali. Number 8. Don't get trapped in similar attractions. Before booking multiple day tours in Bali, it's important to carefully review the itinerary. Many tours in Bali tend to include similar attractions, such as a visit to Tigalyalang rice terraces, a coffee luwak farm where you can sample various coffee and tea flavors, and Instagrammable spots with features like giant swings. To be honest, once you've experienced one of each kind, you've essentially experienced them all. If you're planning to book more than one private tour, I would recommend asking your contact or guide if it's possible to replace some of these repetitive stops with alternative points of interest. By doing so, you can avoid a repetitive journey and have the opportunity to explore more of what Bali has to offer. By customizing your itinerary and seeking out different attractions, you can make your trip to Bali more diverse and memorable. Number 9. Don't disregard the queuing times at Instagrammable spots. Among all the destinations I've visited, Bali stands out as one of the most Instagram-worthy places. It's filled with picturesque spots, both natural and man-made. By now, you may already be familiar with the famous Gate of Heaven at Limpuyang Temple and the fact that it's a mirror trick with no actual body of water on site. However, there are a few more things to be aware of. The popularity of the Gate of Heaven means that the line for taking photos can get incredibly long. It's not uncommon to wait up to 3 hours just for a minute-long photo session. During our last trip, we arrived in the afternoon for the sunset and waited for 2.5 hours. To minimize waiting times, it's recommended to visit in the early morning. However, even with perfect timing, it's important to manage expectations. Many of the photos you see online are taken under ideal conditions or digitally enhanced. The skies may not always cooperate and you may end up with a plain white backdrop due to clouds or fog. A similar photo spot can be found in the north called the Handara Gate. Although it's not as popular as the Gate of Heaven, you may still need to wait for 40 minutes to an hour for your turn. Even at the famous Tana lot, the lines can get quite long, especially at certain spots. Personally, I don't mind the waiting times as I find ways to keep myself occupied by chatting with other guide and locals. Number 10. Don't disrespect the local culture. Since we're discussing temples, it's important to note that modest attire is required within their premises. Some temples may provide sarongs that you can borrow, but to be on the safe side, it's best to wear clothing that covers your shoulders, upper arms, and legs. This dress code applies to both men and women. Additionally, it's important to be aware that if you have an open wound, or for women, if you're menstruating, it is advised not to enter the temples. Even though Bali sees a lot of tourism activity, it remains a religiously conservative and traditional place. You will quickly notice this on your first day, simply by taking a short walk in front of houses and on the sidewalks. You'll see small palm leaf baskets filled with flowers and food. These are called kanang sari, which are daily offerings to the supreme god of Indonesian Hinduism as a symbol of gratitude. It is important to watch your step and avoid stepping on these offerings as they are considered sacred. When interacting with locals and offering something to them, it is customary to use your right hand. The left hand is considered unclean and is associated with toilet duties. Additionally, it is considered disrespectful to touch anyone's head as it is considered a sacred part of the body. Number 11, don't forget to bring mosquito repellent. Dealing with mosquitoes can indeed be a challenge, especially in tropical climates like Bali. It's great that your hotel provide a free mosquito repellent spray. It's always better to be prepared and safe, especially when it comes to health. Dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases can be quite serious. It's a good reminder for anyone traveling to such areas to always carry mosquito repellent with them. Number 12, don't expect too much from Bali's beaches. It sounds like our trip to Bali really opened our eyes to the diversity and richness of the island beyond its beaches. While the beaches are beautiful, it's the well-preserved culture, inland natural attractions, temples, waterfalls, and cuisine that make Bali truly unique and special. It is a great reminder that travel is about more than just visiting the most popular or advertised spots. It's about delving deeper into the culture, history, and natural beauty of a place. Number 13, don't do illegal drugs. It may seem like common knowledge, but it is crucially important to be aware of this. Refrain from engaging in drug-related activities when traveling, particularly in Bali. Indonesia has some of the most stringent drug laws in place. Possession of drugs can result in imprisonment ranging from 4 to 12 years, and for larger quantities, even a lifetime sentence. Additionally, fines of up to 8 billion rupiah can be imposed for drug trafficking, and in extreme cases, the death penalty may be applied. Needless to say, this is not the type of adventure one would want to encounter while abroad. Number 14, do not drink tap water. You should never ever under any circumstances drink tap water in Bali. Even the locals themselves refrain from doing so and strongly discourage it. Most accommodations provide filtered water, but if not, you can easily purchase large containers from the grocery store and refill your reusable bottle as needed. This precaution is necessary because the tap water in Bali can cause severe gastrointestinal discomfort, commonly known as Bali belly. Therefore, I implore you to avoid drinking tap water and remember to bring anti-diarrhea medication as a precautionary measure. In conclusion, by steering clear of these 14 things to avoid while visiting Bali, you'll be well equipped to make the most of your Bali adventure. With careful planning and mindful approach, you'll ensure a memorable and seamless experience on this enchanting island. If you have something to add, feel free to comment down below. Once again, this is Top Secret Travel Tip, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, happy travels!